Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and welcome to Championship Sunday for the Valorant World Championship. And yet again, it is an all-green affair. OpTic Gaming versus Loud for the winner of the World Championship this season. Loads of reaction to their result yesterday as well up against DRX, with Shroud suggesting that potentially Yay is the new TenZ, but TenZ describing that actually Yay is not the most important feature to OpTic's success. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Nice little slander video here to start out the video. But let's dive into things. Firstly, this I thought was kind of crazy. The Champions bundle so far has raised more than $16 million for the Champions teams. We believe the way this works is all the sales from it go to Riot's pocket. They take half. Then the other half go to the Champions teams that then get distributed between everyone. I believe this is about double what they raised with last year's bundle, so they're really putting the pressure on themselves next year. But yes, these guys who go to Champions are balling as a result of this one. But I mean, yeah, kind of crazy how well this sold actually. Now, this also to mention, because as soon as Champs finishes, we are immediately going to get thrown into the Rostermania chaos that's going to come. What teams are going to do what? I'm sure many teams have already considered their options, and like we don't even know. Like OpTic could win today, and they might not go into next season with the same roster. It's not a guarantee that OpTic get into franchising, although very likely. We don't know what the Marved situation is, whether he can actually play next season. There's been some talk about that recently. Zeke, of course, is gone from now Ascends. Like, we don't really expect them to get into even partnership next season in EMEA, despite winning last year's champions. And today, of course, a new winner will most certainly be crowned. Let's talk about this series then, DRX versus OpTic. Like, this was crazy. I mean, it started off so well for OpTic, and certainly for FNS. I mean, the plays that FNS made here, this was such a crucial round, because OpTic had a good advantage, and then DRX are maybe bringing it back, and all of a sudden, FNS goes huge out of nowhere, gets the kills through the Viper's pit, goes to a 12-8 advantage, and then yeah, that's good enough for OpTic to close out this game one. I mean, the fact that FNS actually got this kill through the smoke was absolutely fantastic for him at least. And the OpTic team, they go up 1-0. Then Breeze, it was dominant in their favor. Their defensive side was so solid, and their offense, they won a couple of rounds. Interesting really, because OpTic's Breeze so far this tournament wasn't particularly good, and now DRX get completely crushed in it, right? So I was wondering, okay, DRX, do they have the mental fortitude? This was where I was really impressed by DRX this series, because in previous series and tournaments, DRX have been the team that, you know, mentally they collapsed a little bit, right? Of course, we saw the 5th, 6th curse they used to have. Looked like it was going to happen to them again when they lost that series to Loud. Very close. I think it was the game one that they lost, right? That they should have won. I think it was a 9-3 curse that they lost in that series. And then, of course, they pretty much collapsed and fell down to the losers brackets. But they broke their curse. And, well, once again, they really proved OpTic were, well, going to have a hard time. Funny, I thought, really, because OpTic went up 2-0. And then Hex, the owner of OpTic, tweeted out, like, yeah, GG's boys, on to finals. Like, you know, we'll get them tomorrow or whatever. And people in the replies are like, hang on a second, Hex, they haven't won yet. It's a best of 5, not a best of 3. And then all of a sudden, Mako starts going crazy here on the Fracture. Like, this has been traditionally a very good map for OpTic, but lately, they haven't been quite so strong on it. And Mako just shut absolutely everything down here, especially the defensive side. OpTic, well, tried, but it was not enough. They lost the Fracture. Quite a big deal for tomorrow's game, because Fracture in OpTic versus Loud has been quite a key feature of the series that OpTic have won against Loud in the recent times, let's say, and may well be a deciding factor when it comes to who's going to win the championship today. And then DRX close out on that game 3 performance with a dominant win here on Ascent. They destroyed OpTic again, and this is where it gets kind of scary for OpTic really, because they do have the veto disadvantage up against Loud. Loud will effectively get to decide what 5 maps are played in tomorrow's series, or in today's series, sorry, and therefore OpTic will probably be playing Ascent. Now, this is not a map where they've been particularly good at so far. Like, they've had some pretty crushing defeats versus DRX here, and also versus Loud the first time around. So that is one advantage Loud probably have, is that OpTic's defense and their offense seems rather lost on this map this tournament. DRX dominated, but in fairness to OpTic, going to the final map of the series on the Haven, this is where OpTic were just too strong. Now, firstly, this is a round where they should never have lost. This play here from RB was absurd. Like, how do you get a 2k out of that? Like, and also FNS tries to repeat and dies as well. 1 HP, RB gets that 3k, and then goes on to close out the 4k and win the round as well. That was like an unlosable round from OpTic's perspective. They somehow lost it, but still, good composure from OpTic as they bounced back from this, still took a solid advantage into the half, and then eventually Marv started to come alive. Ye was pretty good all series long, but yeah, Marv was making plays. He had a couple of big clutches, and this is another great example of exactly that. 9-5 to OpTic. They close out the series. DRX go home. Great tournament from them. They're really good to see. Like, how well they played here, but OpTic they are addicted to making grand finals. And they also are addicted to playing loud in said grand finals, as we shall see here in a second. DRX go home, top 3 this tournament, and who knows what's going to happen next year. Might be the last time we see this team in action. Of course, crazy to think really that OpTic and Loud were both in the same group stage at the start of this tournament. I think the Zeta division, right, came third in that group, maybe, unless I'm getting that mistaken. So, like, maybe Zeta are actually the third best team at this entire tournament. And as Marv says, grand finals yet again. Built a little bit different, right? But lots of reaction as this was going on, and also as it concluded, right, during the game, because Ye, again, this guy's numbers are so ridiculous. The consistent impact he has, like, even when he was having a relatively slow game to start out on binds, he comes alive in the second side with the 4K, and people were asking, like, well, even Shroud and Tarek, like, okay, is Ye now the new TenZ? Now, really, like, in terms of results, there isn't really much comparison. Ye has won a tournament like TenZ and Masters 1, but also he's had since then more consistent top results, and in terms of in this chamber meta, Ye is the go-to guy, as TenZ was during the Jet era. Now, and that's kind of the question that Shroud was raising, is Ye the new TenZ? Not in terms of personality and stature and streaming and stuff like this, as of yet at least, but in terms of maybe what he did and like his actual performance level in a meta like this, like Ye is at that level. But also TenZ is saying, well, like Ye might be incredible, like he might be the guy who's dropping the numbers, looking the most flashy, but he's actually not the most important player to the team. That comes down to Victor.
Full investment across the board and a must-win.
Someone said Ye is the new TenZ. Honestly, if Ye streamed, I feel like he could be.
He does.
I mean, he doesn't stream that much.
So you see them playing again heavy for P
Yeah,
and showers, not allowing DRX to get.
But I guess at the same time, personalities matter. Yeah, people heckin' love TenZ, you know?
TenZ is different.
Yeah, TenZ is different. Like, I get it.
OpTic are gonna fuck if Ye doesn't. Not necessarily, actually. OpTic, Ye puts up like really good statistics all the time, but he will always play well. Just because like positioning wise, like his role isn't requiring like that many risks. He will always be positive. And him always getting the op out, like he holds an angle. If someone makes a mistake, he'll always punish the mistake. I think OpTic's success is really dependent off Vic's entry, because like if Vic doesn't like run in and get entry and he doesn't get the kill a lot of time, then they're not able to get into the sites. They're not able to like get into those aggressive angles that like you set up Ye for. Like if you actually watch OpTic positioning on execs most of the time, like I could say defense attack, but on defense, how a sentinel should be, Ye is always on an island controlling an area with an op. On attack, Ye will, if he's grouped up, he'll be posted with an op, holding an angle for people to scale up. And if someone makes a mistake and make a misstep or peek an angle they shouldn't be peeking, then he'll punish it. And then if he's not with the team on like a group, or he's not playing with pack, he will always be lurking and trying to be like really annoying catch rotates and stuff like that.
So I think both can be right to a certain degree in terms of what TenZ was doing at Masters 1 2021 and now comparing to what Ye has done for this entire year, really. Like, you know, they are similar in stature to a certain extent. As I say, Ye has probably better results at this point, but also who's the most important to the team? Because you look at the numbers, Ye, again, I mean, look at this, 1.5 KD or whatever he had, 91 in 60, plus 31 kills, incredibly good, you know, first blood rate as well. I mean, this is pretty much his standard series for Ye, 250 ACS at minimum, you know, 90 odd kill, obviously it's the best of 5, right? But it's incredible he puts up a performance like this over that many maps. But this is what he does, because as TenZ says, he plays in a very, you know, he plays in a way that lacks a lot of risk, right? He's not going to die very often if he's putting himself in 75% winning situations when he gets into a first blood engagement, because, you know, it's chamber. You stand somewhere, and if you don't get the shot, or if you do get the shot, you just teleport out of there, right? So obviously makes sense why he's performed at this level. But TenZ reckons that Victor is the key, and I certainly agree with this. We see this on Fracture an awful lot. lot. Crazy how both Victor and RB ran 5 different agents this series as well. But Victor's Neon on Fracture, for example, is like, that's such a crucial element to how he did. And we can look across the series here, right? Victor top frags on Bind, they win. Victor, okay, 12-6 here, but this was dominant on Breeze in OpTic's favor. Then Fracture, Victor right at the bottom, 7-17, they lose. Ascent, okay, in fairness, Victor was 11-13 here, but they got pretty much crushed regardless. And then Haven, Victor back to the top, and they win. So that, I think, really is the key factor. Victor's entry is the key. We've seen that sometimes he just feeds them free kills. It does happen on Fracture, like he's living up to his old gamer tag, but when he's playing well, that really enables the rest of the team, especially on their attacking side, to deliver results. And that, well, is why TenZ believe Victor is the key man for this team's success. We've seen it up against Loud in the past. We've seen it go various ways against Loud in the past, and they are doing it yet again. So, like, honestly, I thought yesterday, like, look, I'm fed up of OpTic versus Loud, but I'm kind of down to see it because it does finish off the year in, well, a great fashion, really. Loud and OpTic have been the two most dominant international teams this entire season. It is fitting in a way they are the two teams to close out the World Championship. And it's incredible how well these teams are matched up against each other. OpTic lead the head-to-head this season 3-2, 8-6 in terms of map counts. Last time they played in the finals, though, back at Masters 1 in Reykjavik, it was a 3-0 stomping in favor of OpTic that series. I don't expect a similar story this time around. And this is crazy as well. This goes to show that the Americas League next season is going to be pretty stacked because Loud in 2022, they're 2-3 against OpTic. They're 27-1 against every other team. They only lost to Crew. Like, that's so absurd. They've beaten literally everyone on LAN and online whenever they, well, don't play OpTic effectively. And when they do, they have come out second best so far, even as Loud say here, here we go again. So it's time to do battle again. Who do you guys think is going to come out on top? This one I think is really hard to call. What a great tournament we've had. Fitting that these are the two teams to close it out. But Loud are undefeated so far in map count, so far in the bracket. I don't think they can achieve that again. OpTic before, like, lost the upper finals, went down, won the lower finals, won the grand final. But when OpTic won Masters 1, they dominated the losers finals and dominated the grand finals. They've not dominated that lower final, right? They very easily could have lost that up against DRX, which makes me believe that they're not quite on that same form, maybe compared to Loud right now. So I feel like I might take Loud here, but I think I might take a 5-mapper. I think Weltis probably has a decent idea which maps are going to be played. Ascent, Bind, Icebox, Breeze, Haven maybe, seems reasonable. And to me, Loud should be favored on Ascent. Bind probably should be OpTic's map, but Breeze, I'm not super convinced of their ability on, but they should probably win it. Like, Fracture may or may not be here. We'll see. I think I might take Loud 3-2, but I really don't know how to call it. I'm hoping for at least a game 5 cracking series. I think I've got like all my predictions wrong in the last several predictions I've made as well. So probably OpTic are going to win hands down. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.